Good day, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around for the last few presentations. Presentation from Brody, absolutely fantastic, and sticking around from a word from our sponsors. Now it's time for us to close the FreeCAD Conference 2023. Before I hand over to Dr. Duplessis for the final closing, I'd just like to have just 1 or 2 minutes just to speak to everyone here today. For those who don't know who I am by now, I'm varnu govender. I was one of the organizers for the FreeCAD conference this year. I also worked on other projects throughout the last 2 years, the NICRDAP multi-body planar dynamics module, FreeCAD workbench, that was presented on the first day. I was part of that team. And then directly after that, I wrote all the documentation, and then I began working on the FreeCAD conference, I think in February, March of 2022. So since then, I've become a final year mechanical engineering student. And my research focus this year is mainly nonlinear FEM in the ballistics context. So I'm working a lot with trying to replicate or find alternative solutions to calibrating live tissue and bone structures for the purpose of improving our FEM models and not relying directly on commercial software and trying to find an open source solution and proving that there is an open source solution for it. And then on the side, I also am currently working on a design project where I am doing a lot of nonlinear film. So the first few days was very informative for me, and that's why for me it's very important. And FreeCAD particularly is very important for me, as well as a lot of students who may find themselves in situations where it's not easy to just use a commercial solution or a commercial package. It just doesn't make sense for us. Especially with the exorbitant license fees, and that's what we want to avoid, and that's what we're trying to move into. In terms of our university, the University of Pretoria has adopted an opus policy, one of the first universities in the country, probably in Africa, that has decided to directly employ open source or deploy open source to as many places as possible, but you'll still find yourself in situations whereby certain departments still opt to use commercial software, which I still do, but we are trying to move away from that. Dr. Duplessis will also speak about it. One of his main missions is to try and make sure that we've deployed FreeCAD across the board. He has done that when he was my lecturer, I think about 2 years ago. Was my first introduction to FreeCAD, and that's why it's very important to me to present this conference and to host this conference, to make sure that not only are we informing the existing community and the existing user base of what FreeCAD has to offer, but also to make sure that we are transcending that boundary and actually getting to universities, not just in Africa, but across the world, and say, this is what you can do, this is the potential, not just for you as a varsity, but for the students who may want to go into the space, start their own businesses, their own firms, whereby they don't have the money to just spend on commercial software. So yeah, based on that, that's why it was very important, and we found the need to actually begin making this something that we want to do on a yearly basis. And yeah, that's just me, why it was important to me, why I thought it would be needed for us to definitely go ahead with this project. I'm now going to hand over to Dr. Duplessis, where he's going to just close the conference. And from there, you are then welcome to stick around on the main stage for the general Q&A, especially people who may have questions for Brody. And then after that, you are then welcome to attend or start populating the breakout sessions after that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, hope to see you soon.